guys, I'm back, and I'm back with a back day. All right. Today's a work day, so I went ahead. I took a couple videos of what I ate at work. It's what I do every day. I want to show you guys kind of how I go to the office and how I can still scale my food out. I just bring my scale with me, bring my rice, bring my chicken, you know, the right food that I need, and I scale it out there, and I eat. And so I made sure to get meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, and then after work, I go ahead, I take a nap, and I wake up to meal 4, which is my pre-workout meal, which is chicken and rice, and then and now I'm on the way to the gym. I'll show you guys what I ate earlier. And so now, guys, we're 13 weeks out from the NPC Universe. We qualified for the NPC Universe from the Ultimate Grand Prix back in October, which was my first show. So we got a pro qualifier for my second show. You know, most people obviously don't get their pro card after just their second show. So I probably shouldn't go in there with the mindset that I'm gonna get it. But for some reason, I'm definitely gunning for it, you know. I got the mindset that I am gonna get it. And so I teamed up, you know, with Dave Palumbo, and to make sure that no stone was left unturned. We did a 10-week bulking phase, and we've been cutting we've been cutting now for 3 weeks. Gonna do a 16-week cut. And so about when we hit 16 weeks out, that's basically when the diet changed. We went into basically what is a carb cycle. And so I do 3 days of protein and carbs, and then 1 day of protein, fats, no carbs. And that just cycles on and on. And 1 day a week right now, I get a cheat meal, which I fucking love. So that's the diet right now. Today's a protein and carbs day, and I basically I'll show you guys what I ate, and what I'm going to continue eating for the rest of the day. Right now I'm on the way for a back day, and you know, the energy is still really good. 13 weeks out. I get a cheat meal tomorrow because tomorrow's Saturday, so I'm happy about that. And so gonna crush some back, and I'll get whatever footage I can get for you guys. I'll see you guys in there. Alright guys, like I told you guys, I got my meals from earlier today. This was 8 a.m. Second I get to work, I pull out my food scale. I carry it in my lunchbox, and I get my bowl and my oats, and I just go ahead and, you know, quickly weigh out 70 grams. Doesn't take too long. This whole thing just takes about, you know, less than a minute. And then after I get that done, alright guys, after I get my 70 grams of oats, I just come over to this machine. I get boiling hot water directly. Get that good consistency, and I'm either gonna go with 8 ounces of chicken or 2 scoops of protein. This time I went with the 2 scoops of protein, although I have learned to like chicken and oatmeal, surprisingly. And now I can just go ahead and work while I eat meal 1. Meal 2 arrives quickly 2.5 hours later. Pull out my scale, plastic paper, 8 ounces of chicken, and 1 cup of rice, which is equal to 125 grams of rice when it's jasmine rice. And that's actually meal 2 and meal 3 right here, which is the same thing, 8 ounces of chicken and 1 cup of rice. And so now I arrive post nap after work. I like to pre-workout meal, I like to add a pickle. High sodium gives me a really good pump. And that meal was typical, 8 ounces of chicken and 1 cup of rice. And that will be my final chicken and rice meal for the day. And so now I'm here, as promised. Here's the back day. My first movement for back day is usually lat pull down. This helps me really stretch out my whole back and decompress the spine. That's my main. See how I even let my butt come up off the thing a little? I get that stretch and let my whole spine decompress. And then I go ahead and this time I went ahead and went with back detail. Focus on back detail rather than back width. And what I did to do that basically is, instead of focusing on driving my elbows to the hip, which is what you want to do when you work out your lats, I focused on crunching my back. So I brought my elbows a little bit higher and kind of drove them to my chest and tried to crunch the back. That way I can work on those inner rhomboids and really bring out the detail in the back. I think I have enough width, but there just needs to be more detail inside of there. So instead of, if you want to work on your width, then you want to make sure you get that stretch and then pull down more to your hips. Here, I'm pulling more towards my chest, which helps me get that back detail. Okay, now I flipped over and I'm going to do a couple of reps where I can really put my back backwards and really crunch. See there? See how back I can get and crunch? This really shows how I'm pulling towards my chest and not towards my hip. If I was going for back width, I'd be pulling more towards my hip. Alright guys, second movement. Everybody knows it. Nice old-fashioned row. Here, you can tell I'm driving the elbows to the hip. And squeeze. Stretch and squeeze. Let's work the back. Stretch and squeeze. Alright guys, next movement is rack pulls. These will get you a dense back. It's like a deadlift, but you stop right when you get under the knees and squeeze the back. That's just, got it. That'll help you load up your back with heavy weights and really just build a dense, thick, mature back. Alright guys, here I'm working on back width. As you can see, my elbows to the hips. Elbows to the hips. And I brought this bench over, put it a little bit declined, and I got the rope. And as you can see, I'm actually pulling the rope behind the bench. And that's helping me make sure I pull from the elbows to the hips and it's in front of me more. See how I'm not pulling it to the chest? Alright guys, after 4 sets of that, I moved to 4 sets of focusing the back detail. As you can see now, I'm pulling the rope towards my chest. It's not going towards my hips, and you can actually see as I crunch the back. That's me working on back detail rather than back width. You can literally see the detail when I squeeze. That's how you know you're working what you're working on. Alright guys, just finished up back. I think I did 4 or 5 movements. Got them all for you. And now moving on to biceps, arms. Next to back, that was biggest body part that needed work. So about to smash biceps. I'll get some of those for you right now. Guys, back in biceps day. complete. 30 minutes of cardio, complete. Doing elliptical right now. And thank God Fuad freaking dropped a podcast. So that made cardio 10 times easier. Alright, I'll see you guys for meal 5, which is going to be 8 ounces of beef. And I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, there it is. 8 ounces, 93% lean beef. That's meal 5. Alright guys, wrapping up the night. Meal 6, 12 egg whites and 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Don't get the whole pack, only half.